Hi, my name is Mila Lazarevich. I'm an Associate Director here at the Search Agency, and today I'm going to be discussing how to optimize toward expected user value. Customer value. Understanding it, identifying it, and optimizing toward it will be the focal part of strategic conversations in 2018. The reason for that is because knowing and acknowledging customer value and the actions that your customers take on your site will be imperative to the success of your marketing campaigns and initiatives. When we think of value, the first thing that probably comes to mind for most advertisers is a sale, revenue, some kind of monetary gain is important in justifying marketing spend. However, we're often so focused on this end result that we fail to see everything that brought the user to this point. The expectation of how a prospect ultimately becomes a customer is very linear for most advertisers. However, the reality is much more scattered, with users completing a variety of touch points across multiple channels and devices before converting to a lead or a sale. The problem with looking at performance from a linear perspective is we're often accrediting the wrong campaigns and keywords for conversions that take place. Many advertisers understand this fact. They know that last-click attribution models are no longer really beneficial to them, but having the knowledge without taking action is no longer enough. So how do we take it a step further and assign value to the different touch points that is appropriate and beneficial to individual advertisers? This is going to happen through click and conversion weighting. So, starting with conversion weighting, this will allow advertisers to attribute appropriate value to the different touch points on their site. This will be important for advertisers who are looking to find the strongest links that result in a sale while also improving their performance metrics. In this particular case study, we had a client who was heavily focused on in-store purchases. However, the problem was that we had no visibility to in-store purchases for this client, let alone the different steps that users took to get there. So through Google's in-store tracking beta, we were able to calculate each conversion type's value through a regression analysis and use bid strategies to optimize more effectively towards those conversion points. The result for this client was a 16% increase in SEM cost per store visit, but we were also able to identify the influence that our campaigns had for in-store visits, which was 30% at the time. So weighted conversions will help you determine the value of the different touch points on the site and how they correlate with the revenue that's generated, but not necessarily the steps taken to get the user there. This is where data-driven attribution comes in. So data-driven attribution is the newest model to Google's attribution suite, which utilizes machine learning to understand keyword impact on driving conversions. The algorithm dynamically adjusts weighting based on keywords' propensity to generate a desired action. The reason DDA is so unique is because it's the first of its kind to not rely on static fixed rules. The problem with rule-based attribution models is that it forces the advertiser's data to fit the mold of a designated model. In that way, it operates under the guise that user behavior does not change, and that if it does, then you need to revise your attribution model. However, because DDA uses dynamic algorithms that are based on your data is the mold for the model. This is why DDA for different advertisers will be different. It is not based on preset rules and conditions, but it's rather assessing your user behavior instead. Here we'll look at an example of how DDA assigns value to different keywords within any given path. In this example, we have 8 unique users who took 3 unique paths that either led to a conversion or no conversion. The different bubbles here represent keywords A, B, and C in this example. However, they can also represent different channels such as display and social interactions as well. The way that DDA calculates path contribution is by sorting the same conversion paths to calculate how often the unique path resulted in a conversion. For this example, we have 2 unique users who completed the same path, one of which led to a conversion, therefore assigning this path's value at 0.50. The second path that 3 unique users completed was the AC path. One of the 3 users who completed this path converted while 2 did not, therefore assigning this path's value at 0.33. Last but not least, the final path that 3 unique users completed was the B path, which resulted in a single conversion, therefore assigning this path's value at 0.33. After determining path value, DDA determines the value of individual contributors within that path through counterfactual gains. In this particular case, we compare 2 paths taken, the original ABC path and the AC path, to determine the value of B as an individual contributor in that path. We then complete this process for all of the keywords within the path. Now, one thing that you may notice is how C, the last click, prior to a conversion taking place, is assigned the lowest value within the path. If you were utilizing the last click model, you would have given the most credit to the C click while essentially ignoring the driving forces behind the conversion. So how can DDA benefit your marketing efforts? It is dynamic, so it adjusts to individual advertisers' data and has the ability to simulate as user behavior and traffic patterns change. It is comprehensive in that it takes into consideration the different touch points that contribute to a conversion, and it's directional in that it provides better direction for improved decision-making and optimization efforts. Valuing clicks and conversions differently can offer advertisers a superior optimization strategy that looks to the core of user interaction and how they get from the initial interaction to a purchase. DDA determines the value of a click the same way that weighted conversions determine the value of a conversion. By utilizing both, we are able to make better and more strategic decisions from start to finish.